Start with Jai Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhav Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhav Kunj Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivar Dhari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivar Dhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. यमुना तीरवनचरी यमुना तीरवनचरी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव नत्थ गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल नत्थ गौर हरि बोल. We start with Mangalacharan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुर्वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीशगणितं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. नमोऽस्तुभद्राय कृष्णपृष्ठभूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतरिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं भगवं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमन्ते श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्. Hare Krishna. So we welcome all the devotees assembled here in this beautiful session of Srimad Bhagavatam, where we started from first canto and now we are into third canto, in the middle of third canto, which is also very interesting. So, in this particular canto, the main personalities are Vidurji and Maitreya Rishi. So, from the very beginning, we can see that how Vidurji uh, comes in contact with Maitreya Muni, and then their conversation starts. And when their conversation started, so how it landed up into the different pastimes of the Lord, how it landed up into different uh, stories of the Lord, and about the name, form, qualities, and pastimes. So these are the things which have been discussed between the talks of Vidurji and Maitreya Rishi. So this particular chapter which we are into is chapter number 8 from third canto, and it is entitled as Manifestation of Brahma from Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So, how Brahmaji manifested from the Garbhodaksha Vishnu has been explained in this chapter. And in the beginning, it has been mentioned that how Srimad Bhagavatam is received from the Lord to Brahmaji, and the other Sanat Kumar, how he received, and from Shankarshan. And then it has been explained that how the Srimad Bhagavatam is coming from the disciplic succession. So this we can see from this chapter, and then we can see in the last verse that how Brahma came from the lotus flower, which was sprouted from the stem, which came from the lotus navel of Lord Vishnu, and how this Brahma came up and how he was searching that how the situation is. So in this way, the Brahma got bewildered and he was trying to find the source and he wanted to see where I can go. So it has been explained in this in last verse and the coming verses which we will discuss today. So in Srimad Bhagavatam it has been mentioned Ayurharati Vaikumsam Udyanashtancha Yanyaso Tasyarthi Yachanunita Uttama Shloka Bhavartaya, that both by rising and setting of the sun, everybody in this world is getting closer to his death. But that one person or those persons who are constantly engaged in remembering and chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord, they are been exempted from this cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. How? Ayur Harati Vaipumsa Muddin Ashtanchayana So Tasya Arthi Yachanunita Uttama Shloka Bharata. Because they are engaged in the Varta or in the pastimes or in the stories or wonderful pastimes of Lord Uttama Shloka. Why Uttama Shloka? Because the verses which glorify the choicest verses which glorify the Supreme Lord is known as Uttama Shloka, and the shlokas through which we glorify the Lord, that is also called Uttama Shloka. So in this way, the devotees, when they dedicated their time in hearing the glories of the Lord, then they get free from the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. And it is also been explained that Swayam Yamrajji, he also sits in the Krishna Katha. And when he sits in the Krishna Katha, he also forgets and and that much of time is been awarded to that person when he comes in the when he attends the classes or when he engages himself in hearing the glories of the Lord. So that much time which he has given in the service of the Lord about hearing, chanting, and remembering the pastimes of the Lord. So that much of time he has been given more by Yamraji. So this is been explained in the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam is very dear to the devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam yad Puranam yad Vaishnavanam Priya. So if you want to become Vaishnavas, or if you want to become pure Vaishnavas, or if you want to walk on the path of bhakti, then we have to fall in love with Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us many things that how to surrender towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, we see that in the beginning, the Lord explains about the body and the soul, the difference between body and the soul, and one should think uh, ourselves above the bodily platform, that is on the soul. And at the end, he tells, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, that please surrender unto me. But how to surrender? So where the Bhagavad Gita ends, Srimad Bhagavatam starts, and in the from the very first verse, Lord Vyasdev says, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye Yat Muyanti Yat Suraya. So to that Brahma, the Lord himself spoken the knowledge of the Vedas, Hridaya Adi Kavaye. And he downloaded the Vedas in the heart of Brahmaji. And from there the surrender begins. We see Kunti Maharani, Bhishma Dev, and the residents of Hastinapur, the residents of Dwarka, the Pandavas, how they showed Parikshit Maharaj, how they demonstrated their character of surrendering to the Lord. So that's why we say Namaha or we do Naman. Nama Arthat Na Ma, that there is nothing of mine. So that's why we surrender to the Lord. And at the end, Srimad Bhagavatam concludes with the Nama Sankirtan or the in Kali Yuga, how we can uh, by surrendering. The process of surrender, it begins by hearing and chanting, and at the end, Srimad Bhagavatam ends with the glories of the chanting. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranama Dukkha Shabanam Tam Namami Haripuram. So Srimad Bhagavatam starts with the surrender process of surrender, and it ends with the glories of the holy name of the Lord. So for us, it's both are important by chanting the glories of the Lord, chanting the holy names of the Lord, and hearing about the pastimes of the Lord, which is Srimad Bhagavatam. So it has been said, Nimnagana yatha Ganga, Devanam achyuto yatha, Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu, Purananam idam yatha. That Nimnagana yatha Ganga, that among all of the rivers, the river Ganges is the topmost. And among all the lords, or among all the devatas, the topmost is the Lord Achyuta, who never falls down, Krishna. Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, and among all the Vaishnavas, Shivji, Shambhu, Maharaj, or Mahadev, he is the topmost. Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, Purananam Vidam Yatha. And in the Puranas, the Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran is topmost. So that's why we are associating with the topmost scriptures, and which has been written by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada, who went to the West just to give the Srimad Bhagavatam or the message of Bhagavad Gita. So one time a reporter asks in London to Swamiji that Swamiji, why you have come to our uh, British country? So Srila Prabhupada said, many years back you have come to our India or Bharatvarsh and you have stolen and you have taken away so many things from Kohinoor jewel to spices, so many things you have looted from us. But you have forgot to take one important thing, that is the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. That knowledge I came to give it to you at your doorstep. So this was the mode of Srila Prabhupada and his Guru Maharaj, that if you get time, print books, Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and print in the English language and go to the Western world and preach. So we see yesterday was the appearance day of Srila Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. So he instructed Prabhupada to go to the Western world. So Srila Prabhupada printed these scriptures very first time in the English language for people like us who are in the Western countries and all. And definitely today's world is of English language. So that's why he printed the scriptures in English languages and many other languages, but English is the prominent, so that we all can take benefit from this beautiful scripture. So we will dive into today's verse, text number 18. Kaishayo asavaham abjaprishta etat kuto vabjam anayan ananyadapsu asti hi adastadiha kinchanaitat adishtitam yatra satanubhavyam. Synonymous translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Anybody would like to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Lord Brahma, in his ignorance, contemplated, who am I that am situated on the top of this lotus? Wherefrom has it sprouted? There must be something downwards, and that from which this lotus has grown must be within the water. The subject matter of the speculations of Brahma in the beginning regarding the creation of the cosmic manifestation is still a subject matter for mental speculators. The most intelligent man is he who tries to find the cause of his personal existence and that of the whole cosmic creation, and thus tries to find the ultimate cause. If his attempt is properly executed with penances and perseverance, it is sure to be crowned with success. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Gauri. So in this work, the Brahma, it has been mentioned he is in ignorance and is contemplating that who am I and how I am situated on the top of this lotus, because the Brahma is the first living entity which has been created from the lotus navel of Lord Vishnu, Garbhodayaksha Vishnu. So there are basically three Vishnus. One is Mahavishnu or Karanodayaksha Vishnu, and when he is in the ocean or from Mahatattva and all, so he lies down on the causal ocean, and from his skin pores, as he inhales, or we can say as he exhales, all the Brahmands or all the planetary systems comes from his skin pores. And from those skin pores, many different planets uh, comes out. And in those planets, Lord Vishnu again enters in the form of Garbhodayaksha Vishnu. And then Garbhodayaksha Vishnu uh, enters into each of those planets. Then he creates Brahma and other living entities. And in that particular world, again, from that Vishnu, again one Vishnu expands, which is known as Shirodaksha Vishnu, or Shirodaksha Vishnu is the Lord who is situated in everyone's heart. And not only that, from Shirodaksha Vishnu is the one who take, takes appearance whenever there is a decline of religious principles, then Shirodaksha Vishnu, form of the Lord, appears in the human society. So this is a very technical subject matter, but we can, as of now, we can understand that there are three kinds of Vishnus, main Vishnus, Karanodaksha Vishnu or Mahavishnu, then Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and then Shirodaksha Vishnu. So today we are talking about the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, from whose lotus navel Lord Brahma emanates, and that's why Brahma is called Swayambhu. Swayambhu Narado Shambhu, Prahlada Janaka Bhishma, Balir Vaya Sakir Vaya. That among the 12 Mahajans, this Brahmaji is also one of the first Mahajans, Swayambhu, because he first appeared from the lotus navel of the Lord. And he is well versed in all the Vedic knowledges. So he's having the four mouths. From that four mouths, he is constantly chanting the Vedas. Rig Ved, Samved, Ashuro, Yajurved, Atharvaved. So it has been explained here that in the beginning he was in ignorance completely, and he contemplated that how I am situated on the on this top of the lotus, and this lotus from where it is sprouted. So he wanted to know the root cause of that lotus. So he thought there must be something downwards from which this lotus has grown within, must be within the water. So he wanted to know the root of that lotus. So in this way he was contemplating. And Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that anybody who contemplates on such subject matters, then Lord Krishna or Lord helps him by sending the Guru. So many times people may think about something with their own ideology, but that is not the case. We have to consult somebody who is superior. So sometimes we also are in some problems or some anxieties. Then at that time we should approach a intelligent person or guru who will give us the direction. So that's why Athato Brahma Jigyasa. So in the Brahma Sutra that has been mentioned, Athato Brahma Jigyasa, that we have to do Jigyasa for Brahma or the Param Brahma, that is Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Because If we'll not do jigyasa for that, then we will be engrossed in our own world, and then we will not find the ultimate purpose of our existence. So, as they say, that life is not about finding yourself, life is about creating yourself. So, people talk about this proverb so frequently. But it's not about finding yourself or creating yourself. It's about knowing you, knowing yourself, that who are you, from where you came, what is the purpose of your life. So, these are the questions the intelligent man should introspect within himself. And when he introspects or when he thinks that who am I, what I have to do, and where I came from, and what is the purpose of life, when he contemplates like this, then Lord Krishna sends help in the form of Guru, in the form of devotees. So we all must have experienced this, that in our lives also, when we were fed up with our lives, or when we were frustrated, or when we were contemplating and what should I do in my life, what is the purpose, then some devotee must have given some book, or somebody must have invited to the satsang, or somebody may have given us the prasad, or somebody gave us good counseling. So in that way, we also came into Krishna consciousness. So similarly, we have to also contemplate, or we have to also introspect. And it has been said by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also, that in every Ekadashi, that is every 15 days, you should do a Simhavalokan, like a tiger or a lion. When he takes 4 steps ahead, then he sees back that everything is okay or not. So similarly, as we are processing forward in the process of bhakti, so similarly in every Ekadashi, we should also introspect, we should also contemplate that how good or how well I managed the last 15 days. Have I progressed in Krishna consciousness, or there was some lack of determination in me? So similarly, these are the things we need to introspect, which Acharyas have taught us. So we'll move on to the next verse, text number 19. स स इत्थमुद्वीक्ष्य तदब्जनाल नाडिभिरन्तर्जलम् अविशेष नर्वगतस्तत्खरनल नाभिं विचीन् वप्स्तत् अविन्दताजः. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Anybody would like to read?
Hare Krishna. Translation. Lord Brahma, thus contemplating, entered the water through the channel of the system of the lotus, channel of the stem of the lotus. But in spite of entering the stem and going nearer to the navel of Vishnu, he could not trace out the root. Purport. By, by dint of one's personal endeavor, one may go nearer to the Lord, but without the Lord's mercy, one cannot reach the ultimate point. Such understanding of the Lord is possible only by devotional service, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 18.55. Bhaktam Bhaktya mam abhijayanti yavan yes chasmit tatvata. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. So this is also very important verse where Brahmaji, after contemplating, he thought, let me do something. And he entered the water through the channel of the stem of the lotus. But in spite of entering the stem and going near to the navel of Vishnu, he could not trace out the root. So although he was near to the lotus navel of Vishnu, but still he couldn't find out the existence, the very existence of his birth. So that's why it has been explained that this knowledge about the Lord we cannot gain on our own selves, on our own endeavors, because we need the Lord's mercy. Maybe we are a Sanskrit scholar, or maybe we are very good at knowing things, or by reading it we can understand it. But just by reading, you may read the shlokas, but the purport or the meaning behind it can only be known when we sit and hear from somebody superior who is the knower of that knowledge. So similarly, Definitely we should contemplate Athato Brahma Jigyasa. But after contemplating, we should consult somebody. It is not that on our own that we can go out and we can learn about the Lord. In past, many of our acharyas or many of our ISKCON Guru Prince, just to know where is God, they have left their houses and they went to many other institutions. But ultimately, when they came under a bona fide spiritual master like Srila Prabhupada, they got to know their all answers, which uh, they were doing questions for several years. So similarly, it's not that on our own we will be able to find the Lord, but it's always through a devotee's help that we will be able to connect to the Lord. So that's why Guru. So it has been said that Guru acts like a bridge between ourselves and the Lord because he connects us. So the one meaning of Guru is heavy because Guru speaks heavily. Why he speaks heavily? Because if we will not speak heavily, then we will not get the essence of it, or we will take him leniently. So that's why Guru is heavy, and Guru will speak out of which will help us to come out of our comfort zone. So that's why it has been said in Bhagavad Gita 4.34. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadikshantite jnanam jnanina darshanam. That this wonderful science of bhakti yoga or this knowledge you can you can achieve by bowing down to the spiritual master, serving him with full devotion, with humility and sincerity. And when he is happy with your service, he will give you this transcendental knowledge. So this is the beauty of this devotional service. And here it is mentioned, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati Yavan is Chashvitatvata. That only by bhakti we can know the Supreme Lord. One can understand me as I am, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. So, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati Yavan Yaschashmi Tattvata. So, if you want to know the Lord Tattvata in full facts, then we need to follow the process of bhakti. Tatomam Tattvato Gyata Vishate Tadanantaram. And when one is in full consciousness of such devotion or bhakti, he can enter into the kingdom of the God. So, and this devotional service is so potent that when we progress or when we follow the process under a bona fide spiritual master or pure hearted Vaishnavas like our Shiksha Gurus, then it gives a boost to our bhakti. Because when we are doing bhakti, our spiritual master is praying for us, our Shiksha Gurus and other Vaishnavas are praying for us that, oh Krishna, please help him to overcome his anarthas. Please help him to fully surrender unto you. So when we are under the shelter of such Vaishnavas or Shiksha Gurus or Diksha Gurus, then they are praying for us so that we can prosper in Krishna consciousness, so that we can get all our doubts clear and we follow the process without any hesitation. So that's why Brahmaji, although here he was contemplating and he entered on his own, but he couldn't find out the trace. He couldn't find out the route. And definitely, Brahmaji, there was nobody to help Brahmaji at that time. So similarly, so that's why Brahmaji had to do everything on his own to find out his route. But we have that good fortune. We have around us so many my wonderful devotees. This is a wonderful ISKCON moment, which is like a boat. Srila Prabhupada used to say that I have made a house in the name of ISKCON in which the whole world can stay peacefully. So he has made this wonderful moment in which the whole world or people of the whole world they can come and take advantage of it and they can live peacefully. And Krishna consciousness or the message of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is so potent that when we are giving this knowledge, not only we are benefiting others, but we are benefiting ourselves first. So this is not a selfless service, but this is a selfish service. Because when we speak about the glories of the Lord, definitely the other person will get benefited, but we will also get benefited. Because when we are speaking, so then what happens? We will also, in our subconscious mind, we will think that if I am speaking, I also need to follow. And similarly, uh, I have to also follow the process. I have to also implement these principles before I speak to others. So this progress will happen when we take shelter of the process of hearing and chanting. And it has been explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th Canto that the speaker who speaks about Srimad Bhagavatam, or the hearer, or the one who hears about Srimad Bhagavatam, or the one who raises a question about the Srimad Bhagavatam when it is spoken, all the three personalities will get liberated from the bondage of birth, death, old age, and disease. So this is the potency of bhakti. So we'll move on to the next verse, text 20. तमसि अपरे विदुरात्मसर्गम् विचिन्वतो अभूत् सुमाहं स्त्रीनिमिः यो देहभाजं भयम् इरायनः परीक्षिणोति आयुर् हेतिः. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Anybody would like to read? Okay, I'll read.
I'll
No
read.
Translation.
problem. I'll read this.
Okay,
O
Prabhu, please
Vidura,
read.
Go ahead, Uday Prabhuji.
O Vidura, while searching in that way about his existence, Brahma reached his ultimate time, which is the eternal wheel in the hand of Vishnu and which generates fear in the mind of the living entity like the fear of death. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, bro. So here Maitreya Muni speaks further as he is speaking about Lord Brahma. So Maitreya Muni is speaking to to Vidurji that in this way, as Brahma was searching about his existence, Brahma reached ultimate time. He spent lot of time. And Kalosmi, Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that I am the Kal, or I am the eternal will, or I am the eternal time basically. And which generates fear in the mind of living entity like a fear of death. So Lord is the time. So every time when the devotees are following the process of Krishna consciousness, they are progressing. So the Vishnu Dutas are knocking the door of the devotees, or they are giving them Santavana. They are giving them assurance that don't worry, at the end we will take you back home, back to Godhead. On the other side, the people who are ignorant of this knowledge and they are living in their old world as if it's the only way to enjoy. For them, the Yamdutas are knocking their doors and they are giving them assurance that don't worry, at the end we will take you to our Yamloka. So similarly, we have to decide that in which group or in which party we have to be in. Because in this world there are a lot of temptations are there. But definitely we have good association and bad association available. But still our natural tendency goes towards the bad association. So that's why one should be very careful about using his valuable time, because time is more important than money. And Chanakya Pandit says that time is such thing that you cannot get it back even by paying millions of gold coins. So similarly, time is more precious than money. So we should value this time. As we mentioned in the beginning of the shloka about Bhagavatam, Ayur Harati Vaipumsam Uddya Nashtanche Naso Tasya Arti Yachadonitam Uttam Shloka Bhartaya. Then the intelligent person engage themselves in hearing, chanting, and remembering the glories of the Lord. And in that way, they are not getting closer to death, but they are getting closer to the Lord. Because Srila Prabhupada gives us a wonderful example. that a cat carries kitten in his mouth. So we can see, and the other example gives cat carrying mouse in her mouth. So in both the scenarios, we can see the cat is carrying kitten in one scenario, and in another scenario, we can see the cat is carrying mouse in her mouth. So from a layman's point of view, we can think that both are in the mouths of cat. So they both must be they both will will die in some time. But no, Srila Prabhupada says that rat is in the mouth of the cat, so that means rat is soon going to be eaten by the cat. But the kitten which the cat carries in her mouth is their own kitten, is their own uh, what do you say, their own children, is like own their own children. So she will not eat them, but she is taking them from one place to another place to give them the protection. So similarly, although we are also in this world, we are also getting old, we are also uh, facing the problems of health issues, old age, and so many other issues. But since we are following the process of bhakti, so that means uh, at the end we will only go to the a place where from which we'll don't have to return in this world. Yad gatvana nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada gives us this analogy to explain that the devotees are also like this. Although they may die in this world, but ultimately they will open their eyes in the abode of the Lord. That is Goloka Vrindavan or the Vaikuntha planets. That's why it is known as Vaikuntha, which is this world is full of anxieties, but that world is free from all anxieties. That is called Vaikuntha, Bina Kisi Kuntha ke. So this is the difference between this. So we have to understand that we should not kill time. Many people say, I was killing time or like this. But we don't have the capacity to kill the time, but the time is killing us. So we have to value the time. So similarly, it has been said that be a good person, but don't waste time to prove it. So definitely we have to become a good person, good gentleman, but we should not take that much of time that, oh, when the Lord will call me, then I'll go to the temple, or then I'll go to the satsang, or then I will open up the Bhagavad Gita or Krishna book. No, it's the time to wake up now to this Krishna consciousness. So definitely we have to search, but we should not waste that much time, and we should understand that the Lord is the eternal time factor. So we should value the time, and especially in the morning time, we should give ourselves for the service of the Lord. Hare Krishna. So we'll move on to the next verse, text 21. ततो निवृत्तो अप्रतिलब्धकामः स्वधिष्ण्यम् आसद्य पुनः स देवः सनर्जित श्वास निवृत्तो चित्तो न्याशीददारुदो समाधि योगः. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Hari
Mataji.
Prabhu.
Yes,
Translation and
Mataji.
purpose. Shri Prabhupada ji. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thereafter, being unable to achieve the desired destination, he retired from such searching and came back again to the top of the lotus. Thus, controlling all objectives, he concentrated his mind on the Supreme Lord. Purpose. Samadhi involves concentrating the mind upon the supreme cause of all, even if one is unaware of whether his actual nature is personal, impersonal, or localized. Concentration of the mind on the supreme is certainly a form of devotional service. To cease from personal sense endeavors and to concentrate on the supreme cause is a sign of self surrender. And when self surrender is present, that is a sure sign of devotional service. Each and every living entity needs to engage in devotional service to the Lord if he wishes to understand the ultimate cause of his existence. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Lord.
Krishna Mataji, thank you. So after that, thereafter being unable to achieve the desired destination, he retired from such searching and came back again on again to the top of the lotus. Thus controlling all objectives, he concentrated his mind on the Supreme Lord. So Brahma spent a lot of time in searching about the root cause of his existence, but at the end, when he couldn't find the root cause, he came back on the top of the lotus and he refrained or he retired himself from searching about his existence. And then, by controlling all objectives, he concentrated the mind on the Supreme Lord. So, Brahmaji, from the uh, Brahmaji, from the inner heart, from the Paramatma side, he got this voice that you need to meditate. Definitely, uh, Lord is in the heart of everybody, and through Paramatma instructs every living entity. So, similarly, we are also, whenever we are in any difficulties or something, then we should also try to meditate, or we should uh, engage our senses or the mind in the service of the Lord. That's why it has been said, Mana Trayate iti mantra. That if you want to deliver your mind, or if you want to free your mind from uh, unnecessary engagements, then you take the shelter of the mantra. That is the holy names of the Lord. And in Kali Yuga, to liberate the mind or to uh, do good to our mind, we should chant the holy names of the Lord. So that's why it is said that मन मंत्र में होना चाहिए नाम और नाम में होना चाहिए मंत्र. So मन में mantra, it has been said that through the mind we should engage our mind on the holy name of the Lord. Manatrayate iti mantra. So similarly, when we, and in Bhagavad Gita also it has been said, Man mana mat bhakto mad yaji mam namaskuru, that give your mind to me, Lord Krishna says. So we have to give our mind. And how we can give our mind? By chanting the holy names of the Lord, or by meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, or on the beautiful form of the Lord. That's why our Acharyas has given us beautiful vigrahas, deities of the Lord, to meditate upon them and to take daily darshans. Definitely, we are enamored by the beauty of this world, but that is the but that beauty reduces as the time moves on. But Lord Krishna's beauty increases as the time passes on. So similarly, we have to take shelter of the eternal Lord, and we have to engage all our minds in the service of the Lord. And in every 15 days, when we observe the fast of Ekadashi, so in Ekadashi also it has been said that Ekadashi, that five knowledge acquiring senses and five the working senses and the mind, which is the 11th sense, through those 11 senses, we should reside, or we should do fast, that is to reside near to the Lord. And as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that we have to do Simhavalokan, so similarly we should also do introspection, that how better we can do in the process of bhakti to progress further. So in this way, we should always remember about the Lord. So that's why it has been said, Smartavya Satatam Vishnur, Vismartavya na Jatu Chir, Sarve Vidhi Nisheda Sur, Etayor Eva Kinkaram. That always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And these two principles are the king of all other principles. And all other principles are the servant of these two principles. Because we should always remember the Lord and we should never forget the Lord. These are the two main principles we should uh, take up very seriously. And when we talk about the mind is very flickering. Sometimes the body is here, but the mind is somewhere. Or it may happen the mind will allure us to get that something. But Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur tells that in the morning we should beat our mind with the broom, and the evening and in the evening we should beat our mind with the shoes, something like that. So what he wants to convey is that the mind is very unsteady. But what we can do is always try to bring the mind in the service of the Lord, about hearing the activities of the Lord or remembering the Lord. So definitely when we do our chanting, the mind goes here and there, but we should bring back to the remembrance of the Lord, or we should bring back our mind when we are chanting, because that is the tendency of the mind to go here and there. But we should control our mind in such a way that we should tell the mind that please be with me for this particular chanting process. After that, I'll give you time. So in this way, we should try to control our mind in this way or some other way, so that we can meditate fully in the process of devotional service. And when we are in the process of devotional service, we should fully focus on the process of devotional service. When we are into our office work or some other works, we should do it dedicatedly. So in this way, some way or other, the benefit is to engage the mind in the process of devotional service. And devotional service is so potent that Salvamapyasya Dharmasya Trayati Mahatubhayat. That if you will do little endeavor also, you will be protected from the most dangerous type of fear. And here it is mentioned to cease from personal sense endeavors and to concentrate on the supreme cause is the sign of self surrender. And when we engage our mind in the service of the Lord, that shows our surrender. And that is the pure sign of devotional service. So, not only mind, all our senses should be engaged in the service of the Lord. That's why it has been said, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. So, when we engage our senses in the master of the senses, that is Rishikesh, then our senses will be purified. So, also one more example Srila Prabhupada gives, that about the snake. So, when the poison of the snake is taken out, then the snake is not very dangerous. So, similarly, our senses are also like snakes. They will go here and there searching for their food. But by engaging in the process of devotional service, we take out that poison from our senses. And then the senses, and by taking out that poison from the snake, then the snake is not very dangerous. Similarly, as we engage our senses in fully in Krishna consciousness, then what happens? The the poison tendency also goes off, and then it becomes purified. So the senses will be purified as we engage them in the service of the Lord. So that's why we should also here, as Brahmaji concentrates his mind on the Supreme Lord, so similarly we should also concentrate our mind in the service of the Lord. So as I was in my college days, I used to stay in a base of a temple which is known as Bhaktivedanta Academy of Culture and Education. So there one Prabhuji came by the name Nandagopa Prabhu. And he says, and he instructed us all students in the staying in the base, that chant from the ear, chant from the tongue, hear from the ear, and cry from the heart. So when we are chanting, we should chant from our tongue and hear from our ear, and we should cry from our heart. So when we will do our chanting, or when we will do our sadhana in such a prayerful mood, then what will happen? We'll be able to control our mind, and we'll be able to engage our mind in the service of the Lord. And also there is one more devotee, Brahmachari from Mumbai Chowpatty by the name Braj Bihari Prabhu. So whenever he sits for chanting, he keeps one note in his front, that where is my mind now? Which means whenever he's chanting, if the mind goes here and there, he reads that. And then he thinks, where is my mind now? Is it on the holy name of the Krishna, or is it wandering here and there? So we should be very careful. So in this way, some way or other, we should try to engage our mind or in the service of the Lord. So we'll move on to our next verse, text number 22. Kalena soja purushayashu bhi purushayasa प्रवृत्त योगेन विरुद्ध बोध स्वयं तद अंतर्हृदये अवाभतम अपश्यत यन्न पूर्वम. Translation proper by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
I'll read Prabhuji.
Yes,
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. At the end of Brahma's 100 years, when his meditation was complete, he developed the required knowledge, and as a result, he could see in his heart the Supreme within himself, whom he could not see before with the greatest endeavor. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Lord can be experienced by only through the process of devotional service and not by one's personal endeavor in mental speculation. The age of Brahma is calculated in terms of Divya years, which are distinct from the solar years of human beings. The Divya years are calculated in Bhagavad Gita 8.17. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Ahar Yad Brahmona Vidu Brahmas 1 day is equal to 1000 times the aggregate of the 4 yugas, calculated to be 43 lakhs years. One that basis Brahma meditated on that basis Brahma meditated for 100 years before he could understand the supreme cause of all causes, and then he wrote the Brahma Samhita, which is approved and recognized by Lord Chaitanya, and in which he sings Govinda Adim Purusham Rama Aham Brahmaj Bhajmi. One has to wait for the mercy of the Lord before one can either render service unto him or know him as he is. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you. So this is also very nice verse. So at the end of Brahma's 100 years, when his meditation was complete, he developed the required knowledge. So also it has been said that when Brahma was trying to search for his existence, and as he got baffled and he comes on the lotus flower back, so then he hears two words, tapa tapa. That means do tapasya, and then he starts meditating on the Supreme Lord. It is so this has also been said, and then the Brahmaji meditates by closing his eyes, and he engages his mind in thinking about the Lord. So 100 years, after 100 years, when his meditation was complete, he developed that required knowledge. So he got that knowledge, or by his severe austerity and penances, the Lord gave him the knowledge of the Vedas in his heart. He downloaded the knowledge of the Vedas in his heart. And as a result, he could see in his heart the Supreme Lord within himself. So the Lord for whom he was doing tapasya, then at the end he could see the Lord in his heart himself. So which he was not able to see earlier with great endeavor. So similarly, when we take shelter of the Lord or his pure devotees, then the process becomes easy. Otherwise, it is the process like going to the top floor of the building through the way of staircase. So that is very painful. But if the lift is available, then we can go easily in very less time at the top floor. So similarly, the process of bhakti is acts like that the lift way. It lifts us uh, on the top by less endeavor, and when we take fully shelter of his devotees and the Lord, then the Lord lifts us. And it has been said, in this world, the gravitation force acts like whatever you throw, it will come down. But in the spiritual world, there is another law which is far superior than gravitational law, which says that if you if you bow down to the Lord or his devotees, or if you take their shelter, then what happens? The Lord, if the Lord takes you up. So on one hand, whatever with whatever goes up, it has to come down in the law of gravitation. But in the process of bhakti, when we take shelter, or when we do menial service, or when we follow the process of bhakti in a very humble state of manner, then what happens? The more we go bow down, the Lord lifts us in the service of the Lord. And that's why in this Kali Yuga, this Gauranga and Nityananda, Gaur Nitai, are very, very merciful. Last week or last Saturday only, we have celebrated the Nityanand Trayadashi. So we can understand that the Nityanand Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are very merciful, and they have appeared. Sankirtanayaka Pitaro, they have given us, they are the fathers of the Sankirtan moment, and they have given us this wonderful, the holy name and the process of devotional service. And they are so merciful that there is no limit to their mercy. That's why they are known as Karunya Avatar. परम करुणा बहुदुई जन निताय गौरचंद्र सब अवतार सर शिरोमणि केवल आनंद कांड and they are essence of all the avatars. Parama Karuna, Bahudui Jana, Nitai Gaurachandra. Sabha Avatar Sarashiromani, Sarashiromani, Keval Ananda Kanda. They are the essence of all the avatars, and they are more magnanimous. So, just by taking shelter of Nityanand Prabhu, which is no, which is the Adi Guru, Balramji, we can conquer our uh, limitations, or we can get rid of our limitations and anarthas, and we can take up the process of devotional service wholeheartedly. And through the process of devotional service only we can know the Lord. Otherwise, if we'll go on doing mental speculation, that it will take more years, but still we may not find the Lord. So that's why it is better to take advantage of the scriptures, take advantage of the holy names, take advantage of this process of devotional service which our acharyas has given us. And this Kali Yuga is very, in Kali Yuga we have got good fortune that we have uh, this easiest process which is available for us, because in earlier yugas we have to do so much of dhyana meditation for several years. Then after that in Treta Yuga we have to do yajna for hours to please the Supreme Lord. In the Satyug, we have to do meditation for several years, like Hiranyakashipu did 60,000 years tapasya to attract Brahmaji. Then in Dwapar Yuga, we have to do uh, Archa Vigraha Pujan for so many hours in an elaborate way, deity worship process. But in Kali Yuga, we can chant wherever we are, and we can engage or participate in the process of devotional service. For in Kali Yuga, we can, through Zoom call or through the Zoom meeting, we are benefited at our own places in our comfort zone. So this is the process of devotional service, which is very easily available in this Kali Yuga. Only thing is that we have to take it or follow it thoroughly, seriously under the guidance of wonderful Vaishnavas as you are assembled here. And as as Brahmaji meditated, he became matured in his process of devotional service. And on that basis, Brahma meditated for 100 years before he could understand the supreme cause of all causes, and then he wrote Brahma Samhita. And after that, Brahmaji wrote Brahma Samhita, which is approved and recognized by Lord Chaitanya. Brahma Samhita means that the Samhita, which is written by Brahmaji, that's why it is known as Brahma Samhita, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajan. And from the very first verse, Brahmaji says, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam, that the Ishwar or the controllers is the Parama, the topmost controller is Lord Krishna. Ishwara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. He has got Sachidananda body. He has the body which is full of knowledge, full of bliss, and it is eternal. It will not perish. Sachidananda Vigraha, like a beautiful transcendental body he has got. Anadi Radir Govinda. No beginning, no end is there of that Supreme Lord, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam, and he is the cause of all causes. And in the in our all ISKCON temples, Srila Prabhupada has given the instructions to sing this arti called Govindam Adipurusham whenever the darshan gets opened after the Mangala darshan. So this Govindam Adipurusham Tamam Bhajami. So Brahmaji in this Brahma Samhita has glorified the Lord and he established the the position of the Supreme Lord as the topmost Lord. And in this way, he has given various knowledge about the sun, the the demigods, Devi Devatas, and everything. And it's a crux actually. Definitely, the verses are uh, more heavy and more lengthy, but they are all meaningful. And that Brahma Samhita's commentary is given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, our Srila Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj. But the main crux which we can take from this Brahma Samhita is, and Srila Prabhupada, whenever requires, he quotes this Brahma Samhita verses in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam also. So, what we can learn from this is we have to also take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master or Shiksha Gurus or pure Vaishnavas, because when they will pray for us or then when they will shower their mercy, then we'll be able to understand the Lord and we'll be able to process the and we'll able to follow the process of devotional service more rigidly, and at the end we will go back home, back to Godhead. So we'll move on to our last verse for today, text number 23. Mrinala Gaura Yata Shesha Bhoga Paryanka Ekam Purusham Shayanam Fanatapatrayayu Ayuta Murdaratna Jubirhata Dvanta Yuganta Toye. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Brahma could see that on the water there was a gigantic lotus-like white bedstead, the body of Sasanaga, on which the personality of Godhead was lying alone. The whole atmosphere was illuminated by the rays of the jewels bedking the hood of the Sheshnaga, and that illumination dissipated all the darkness of those regions. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you. So in this verse we could see from today where we started that Brahmaji was uh, trying his hard to know the root cause of his existence. But now he sees the Sakshat Darshan of the Supreme Lord, where he could see on the water that there was a gigantic lotus-like white bedstead. So the Lord uses his bedstead in the form of Ananta Shesha, Sheshanag, on which the personality of Godhead was lying alone. The whole atmosphere was illuminated by the rays of jewels bedecking the hood of Sheshanag, and the illumination dissipated all the darkness of those regions. So, as we were talking about Nityanand Prabhu, so Nityanand Prabhu is Adi Guru. He is none other than Balram ji or Lakshman ji. And Balram ji expands himself in the form of Lord's paraphernalia, Vastra, Paduka, or the ornaments or the instruments for Kartala and Pritang is Lord Balram's expansion. Lord's throne, Lord's Vastra, Abhushan, ornaments, decorations are all expansions of Balramji. And where the Lord take rest, that is also the body of Sheshanaga. And it has been explained that this body is so transcendental, Sheshanaga, that when the Lord feels cold, then the Sheshnaga, through his skin pores, he supplies heating uh, radiant so that the Lord doesn't feel cold. And when the Lord feels hot, then the Sheshanaga, through his skin pores, he releases uh, soothing, cool air. Then the Lord feels comfortable. And it is very soft than our bed or sleepwell mattress also. So this has been explained by our acharyas. And so this was the darshan which the Lord Brahma is saying this darshan, that how in the beautiful bedstead of Sheshanaga, the personality of Godhead, was lying there. And on that Sheshnaga, there are jewels on the hoods of the Sheshnaga. There are many, many jewels because as the Sar Shashirsha or the Sheshnaga is having so many hoods, and on that hoods there are many jewels. And through that jewels, the illumination is happening. All the darkness went away because of the jewels which are there on the hoods of Sheshanaga, and it is all the illuminating that environment or that atmosphere. So this is the beauty of spiritual world. Na tadbhashayate suryo, na shashanko, na pavaka, yad gatva na nivartante, tad dhamma paramam mama. That Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that in my abode there is no need of sun and moon. What to speak of electricity? Because na tadbhashayate suryo, na shashanko, na pavaka. And my abode is such that if you enter once in my holy abode, Goloka Dham or Vaikuntha planet, then there is no looking back. Then you will not come back into this material world. So this is, and the spiritual world is explained with so many other examples that there are kalpa vrikshas, there are kamdhenu cows, there are Lakshmijis, and kamdhenu cows are unlimited, Lakshmijis are unlimited, kalpa vrikshas are unlimited, and the kalpa vrikshas are such, they are called the desire trees. If you want samosa and you can pay to that kalpavriksha tree, that tree will give you samosa instead of the fruit which they are having. So that is the desire fulfilling trees. Secondly, there are Kamdhenu cows, Surabhi cows who are giving milk like anything. Unlimited milk supply is given by the cows of the spiritual world. And Lakshmi ji, Lakshmi Sahasra Satasamrava Sevya Manam, Govinda Madi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. Again, Brahmaji says in the Brahma Samhita that unlimited Lakshmijis are engaged in the foot massage or the service of the Lord in the Vaikuntha planets, that there is no end to it. Lakshmi Satasambrava Sevya Manam, Govinda Madi Purusham Bhajami. In this world, we are mad after Lakshmi, but in the spiritual world, the Lakshmi is mad after his husband, her husband, that is Vishnuji or Narayanji or Vaikuntapati. So, so from this example, we can see that it is better to approach Lakshmi Narayan together instead of approaching only Lakshmi ji or Ganesh ji. Because when we approach Lakshmi with Narayan, then the Lakshmi stays for us for a long time. Otherwise, Lakshmi is known as Chanchal. She is having the flickering nature. Because if we engage that Lakshmi in the service of the Lord, then the Lakshmi feels very much joy out of it, and then it stays there. So this is the thing or lesson which we can learn from this, and this is the beauty of the spiritual world. So we have to aspire to go to that spiritual world. In this world, there are. This is also beautiful, but it is also, but it has been said that it is of the uh, one fourth part or one fourth of the spiritual world, and spiritual world is three-fourth times than this material world. And there are so much facilities are there, so much of things are there which we should uh, hanker to see or aspire to get. But in this world, there are so many limitations, but that world is limitless. And this material world is ashashvat, but that spiritual world is shashvat. After the pralaya of Brahmaji, this whole material world gets destroyed or it gets into the body of the Mahavishnu. But that spiritual world will remain eternal even after devastation. This is what it is been explained. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So thank you very much for kindly and patiently hearing. And please forgive me if I have made any mistakes or you have tolerated my shortcomings. And thank you, His Grace Subal Prabhuji, for engaging me in this service. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very, very much, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any question?
प्रभु जैसा पहले पढ़ा है या पता नहीं कि भी ब्रह्मा जी को तो ता और पाव ऐसा सुनाई दिया था, तो ये कुछ दिस इज समथिंग डिफरेंट फ्रॉम व्हाट वी आर स्टडिंग.
Yes, Prabhuji. In lectures, we have heard this that Brahmaji heard these two words, ta and pa. That means to he has to do tapasya to see the Supreme Lord. And here it is mentioned that he himself uh, came out on the top of the lotus flower and he meditated. So definitely, uh, but we can see that in different kalpas, this happens like this. But as we heard and we have seen here, so we should believe both these things because this tapa thing also we have heard from our acharyas. So both are true, Prabhuji.
ओके.
प्रभु एक जस्ट
Well,
पॉइंट
Prabhu,
उसमें ऐड करना चाहूंगा मैं कि पूरा जो क्रिएशन का जो फिलॉसफी है ना has been spoken at 4 different places in the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, Shukadev Goswami to Parikshit, Maitreya Muni to Vidur, Brahma to Narad Muni, and it has gone further also. In fact, four नहीं 4.5 बोल सकते क्योंकि fifth time थोड़ा partially बताया था. And in every different conversation, the details of the philosophy are different. In some cases, it is far detailed. In some cases, it is at a summary level. So it is possible that certain details are not spoken of in a certain conversation. So in one of the conversations in Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that the 16th alphabet letter ta and the letter pa was constantly spoken by Saraswati Mata, and which was heard by Brahma. And then he started doing tapasya. So in this particular conversation, that portion has not been spoken in detail, but the point mentioned is directly he started doing tapasya. But both are correct. In just in one of the conversation, the details are not spoken. That's all.
But Prabhu, here Brahma could see the real darshan of Bhagwan Vishnu.
वही वही प्रभु डिटेल्स जो है वही डिफरेंट है दैट्स
हाँ
ऑल
जी.
बट
ओके ओके.
अदरवाइज दैट कंप्लीट फिलॉसफी इज सेम इट्स जस्ट दैट कि थोड़ा सीक्वेंस आगे पीछे हो सकता है या थोड़ा
हाँ जी.
डिटेल्स अलग हो सकता है बट अदरवाइज that philosophy is still constant and as Prabhu also mentioned there have been different brahmas in different universes
या.
so that's the story can differ based on different brahmas also that can also be possible.
ओके ओके.
Hare Krishna. Anybody has any other question?
Prabhuji, one point where it said that Brahma eventually gets the knowledge of the Vedas, but then how did he know what is the meaning of tapa?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Tapa means, as I mentioned in the class also, that the Lord is also situated as Paramatma in the heart of Brahmaji. So, so that's why when Brahmaji was not able to locate his existence or where he came from and what he needs to do, then the Lord, and he was trying to explore in his own ways to see the existence of his own self. And in this way, as he was trying to search, but he got frustrated, he got baffled as he was not able to find out. Then, as he came on the top of the lotus flower, then he heard these words, Tapa. And since the Lord inspired him in the form of Paramatma to meditate or to closed his eyes and meditate. So in this way, the Lord Brahmaji meditated, Prabhu. And
Okay, thanks.
definitely, there are different what do you say occasions where the this conversion happened between about Brahmaji's this thing. But in Srimad Bhagavatam, the first verse also it is said that Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kaviye Muyantyat Suraya. The Vedic knowledge is first, it has been installed in the heart of Brahmaji by Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. So from this we can understand, as the scriptures have mentioned it, definitely there are a lot of technical details which we need to understand. But as we hear the Srimad Bhagavatam more, then in future also we will encounter such conversations between other devotees. Then from there also we'll be able to get more information about this book.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, bro. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Many thanks. Keep coming. I know Saturdays are a bit difficult for you because of other services also. But हमारे पे भी बीच बीच में कभी कृपा करना प्रभु.
हरे कृष्णा bro. आप हम पे कृपा करते रहिएगा.
Hare Krishna. So let's chant Vaishnav Pranam Mantra and let's thank Prabhuji for his wonderful lecture.
Sure.
Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very
Hare
much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much to all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.